Welcome, fam, to the week 11 of the 2024 FFFL season recap. I have our good buddy Kyle here with me and our other good buddy Rocco.
Yep, he's
He's
in
to the
here.
side. Yeah, we can see Rocco. There you are, bud. Love it. Well, I asked Kyle to record now because we are getting into discussions of the Cowboys head coach, basically, and how Mike McCarthy's out this after this year. But I didn't hear the Deion Sanders thing.
No, that might have just been a rumor, but they could do. I know Shadir wants to go to. I think he's going to go to the Raiders, but
Oh,
I'm all
really? Yeah.
yeah, yeah. They,
I
they missed the opportunity with Dan Quinn, and they need
Yeah, because you
help.
were
I don't,
saying
I don't know why
that.
McCarthy's there.
Well,
He's
they
got
got rid of Kellen Moore. And I didn't understand that move when it happened because I was like, well, you had a really good offense though. Like when he was the offensive coordinator, they had a really
yeah.
good offense going. But McCarthy didn't like how good they were and how quickly they were scoring or something. I don't know if that was the full deal or what.
That
Because
looks
now
pretty
Kellen
stupid
Moore is,
now.
you don't know?
No, that looks pretty stupid now.
Yeah, I know. Because Philly's doing pretty well. Um, but the Cowboys have kind of just like crumbled. Well, no, last year, so because they let Kellen Moore go 2 years ago. Last year they didn't have him and they did well.
Hmm.
They like it actually worked out well for them. But this year, man, I don't know. I think the offensive line isn't what it used to be either. So I think
Yeah, no,
that's
I think
also
Zach Martin's about done.
yeah. And defensively, you have Parsons coming back. Is Lawrence back?
Relax, relax. No, I don't think he is yet. But that gets me on Parsons deal. I mean, he's too busy getting on podcasts and talking trash about the rest of the team. He's not doing what he needs to do either. I mean, that whole team is just they're just in the gutter. They need to get a reset.
Yeah, they don't
They're-
have it. Yeah, it's bad, and that's a good point. Like the team, they're not playing as a team like at all. So,
yeah,
so that's kind of tough. But I mean, good luck to your Cowboys next year. I guess I don't
right.
know,
Yeah.
but there'll definitely be a coaching change there. Something's got to happen, and like if it's Dion, I don't know. I don't watch college football enough, so I don't really know. It seems like Colorado's really not as good as what like once they actually get into their schedule is what I've heard.
Yeah, I mean, they got beat on by Nebraska pretty good, and then I think they kind of figured it out.
Yeah.
They got some things going on. I don't really agree with them playing that Travis Hunter on both sides of the ball like that. I mean, he's a fantastic player, but I think they're going to kind of burn him out. They keep
Yeah,
him
because he's a
going like
cornerback, right? He plays corner
that.
and wide receiver.
Corner and wide receiver. So yeah, I mean, he's fantastic at what he does. But I mean, I truly think if he ever makes it to the NFL, which I don't see why he wouldn't. I think he's more of a corner than a
Yeah.
receiver.
Yeah. Yeah, they were talking about him honestly I can't remember what I was listening to, but I think it was fantasy football related. And they were talking about him specifically, and yeah, if he would go as a receiver or as a corner, because you're obviously not doing both, you
No,
know.
you can't. There's no way. And if you do, you're not going to last very long.
Right. Yeah. But Dion, he tried to do that, right? Dion was trying to do it all.
That was
Remember
a different
the
era.
I know there was a video game once that he like I think it was called like Prime Time or something, and it was in the late 90s maybe. And it was for, I believe, Sega. And part of it was like Dion would play everywhere. Like he could play on offense and on defense and stuff like that. It was or maybe like all the players could, depending on how you wanted to play them, or something interesting like that. But yeah, I remember that being like the big thing on it was that you could play on both sides of the ball in that game. So that was a pretty cool one. All right, Kyle, but you said you didn't watch much football this weekend.
No, I didn't see too much of it. I did see the Cowboys get beat, but that was about the extent of besides watching highlights and whatnot. I didn't sit down and watch a full game.
Were you also hunting? Were you hunting with your
No.
dad? Okay.
No, I was not.
Okay. Do you want to share why you were not willing to watch football for this? Or
I was busy. I mean, I didn't
I
have
like
time to
it.
sit down and watch football.
I like it. You're like, nope, I'm not gonna share it. But I was busy. I'm busy. I get it. I get it. Well, hopefully you'll have some good insights at least to share as we go through our recaps and all that stuff. So I'll bring everything up here. Oh, come on, slideshow. From the beginning. We got our week 11 recap. We'll do it as we always do, Kyle. We'll go through the ass whoopings of the week first, and then we'll get into the other games that happened at some almost ass whoopings. Up, go backwards. And then one real true nail biter from last night. That was kind of a crazy one. Then we'll get into Dr. Sam's injury report, hit the waiver wire, what to do's, talk trade central, had a couple trades go down, so we got to talk about that. Hit comment of the week and then wrap up with our upcoming matchups in week 12. Are you ready to roll?
I am.
Okay. I'm trying to get this little bar off of my screen if I could. That would be wonderful. I don't know. But we're going to start with the biggest ass whooping of this week, and that was Louie, your own father, whooping up on Casey. He beat him by basically 50 points, which is a pretty large ass whooping. Seemed to be more due to one side not scoring than the other side scoring. But how did it happen? What did you see as maybe one takeaway from this matchup as to why your dad was able to take down? Oh, sorry, why Licho Logis was able to take down Indianapolis Cases Aces. My bad. I'm saying this all wrong. I'm saying this all wrong. But yeah, why were they able to do that?
Well, I don't know. It's looking like Jamar Chase didn't get, 56 points this week, which is shocker. I'm glad he got
Yeah,
that out of the way last week. Yeah.
you only got 23 this week,
Yeah.
which
I
everyone
mean,
was
that's
bummed
still a very good week, but yeah,
yeah.
I'm glad I got to be the recipient of that ass whooping. Uh, but no, I mean, it's kind of low scoring around. I mean,
Yeah.
TJ Hawkinson, he just didn't get it figured out. And I mean, I had Jefferson too, who didn't really do too much for me. So I don't know if Minnesota,
That was a weird
they
game.
ran the ball or well, like I said, I didn't watch it, but I don't think they did too much passing. And
No, it was a weird game. I think it just was one of those time of possession type games to your point. But even like technically Cam Akers outscored Aaron Jones in fantasy football because I think he got like I think Cam Akers got a receiving touchdown. You know what I mean? So it was a very weird scoring game for that Minnesota game. And then on your dad's side, I mean, Montgomery continues to do well. So he's been a major part. Both him and Jahmyr Gibbs are like top 10 running backs or something crazy, which is just crazy to think about. Two guys on the same team being that good. One thing I
Mhm.
did want to note though for this matchup was that their defenses combined for -3 points. Like it was not good. Cowboys couldn't stop the Texans, even though I think one of the Texans TDs wasn't that a defensive touchdown?
Yeah, it was like
Or
a,
did
a double fumble recovery. I seen that. That was a double fumble recovery for a touchdown. That was just
oh
that.
yeah, because
It's
he
hard to watch. I mean, it's so
yeah,
hard to watch that kind of stuff when they're, the fumble. Oh, not a shocker. And then lineman
yeah.
picks it up, and big man's trying to get back to the line of scrimmage, and he coughs it up too, just enough. Oh man,
I gotta watch it. I heard about it, but I gotta watch this play now to see it.
yeah.
Because yeah, I heard the running back fumbled, and then the lineman picked it up, and then he got it popped out of his hands, and and then they rumbled it in for a touchdown the other way. Like insult to injury, man. And it sounds like that's just how the Cowboys season has gone.
Yeah, it's not going
We'll
well.
sum it up in one play, and it was probably that one. So I got to check that one out. All right. Well, let's move on to the next ass whoop, but I won't stay here for the cases aces. But Licho, Logis, they were able to whoop up on the cases aces this week. Another matchup that got whooped up on, and another in a similar fashion of just kind of a more of like lack of scoring rather than a bunch of it that caused it. But not great and Purdy injured got their second victory of the season over a bunch of Jagoffs because a bunch of Jagoffs could only score 60 points. What say you, Kyle, in regards to this matchup?
Oh, I'm looking at Russell Wilson here, and yeah, I wouldn't want
Yeah.
that guy on my team.
No, did not go so good.
We'll just leave that at that. Yeah, Russell Wilson won't be on my team, so that's what I'll stick with. I think I'll stick with old Aaron Rodgers instead of that. But I mean, he did come in and nobody really expected Russell Wilson to do. They were kind of mad at Tomlin for putting him in, and
Yeah,
he did okay. I mean, I think he got the 3 wins for him.
yeah.
And no one kind of expected that. I mean, he didn't do bad, but yeah, I mean, just low scoring affair. I mean, that's I can kind of
And Pittsburgh won this week. They beat them, so you can't
exactly,
say anything
exactly.
about it there either.
Yeah, and it's just very low scoring affair. I mean, it's the whole team. I'm seeing that.
Yeah. Yeah, it was not good for Andy. Lad McConkey was his highest scoring player. He's been pretty good actually as a in the second half of the season so far. And on Allison's side, Jonnu Smith, huge game at tight end. I mean, that's a humongous game, 27 points. It wasn't even the highest point total of a tight end this week, but got a huge game from him. And that was a big pickup because she picked him up this week and played him. So nice job there. And if you notice, I mean, it's pretty much kind of the margin of victory. It was 32. He scored 27. So that's a big. I mean, he outscored Travis Kelsey. So there you go. But yeah, that was her main separator of this week was picking up Janu and playing him. And now she might have a tight end who can continue to play because he's been doing that for a few weeks now. So Janu may be a thing here this year with Tua. But nice job, Bell. Way to get your second victory of the season. And a bunch of Jagoffs going the wrong way right now. They were doing well, but Bijan not on a heater any longer. So no bueno. All right. Third up was another ass whooping of the week, but number three. But Meow Meow put an ass whooping on Murphy's Law. So he won by a little bit over 30, about 31 points. Any specific reason that you think Meow Meow was able to pounce on Tyler's team?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, a couple low scores there. I thought DeAndre Hopkins, Buffalo must have done a good job locking him down.
Him and
Especially,
Kelsey, right? You saw Kelsey was 1.8 point.
yeah,
DeAndre Hopkins was 4.4.
yeah.
I don't know who scored for Kansas City. I didn't really watch that game. Again, I'm with you. I didn't watch a ton of football as much as I thought I would this weekend, but yeah, it was a rough one on that end. And Bo Nix continues to play great, man. He's playing some great football, and right now he's looking like the best rookie quarterback so far this year.
Yeah, I should have picked him up. Should have got him.
Oh, yeah? Because you are in search of a quarterback right now, probably. I got Jared Goff, man. You just talked to me,
I'm
Kyle.
I'm going back to what I should. I mean, I didn't get Bo Nix, but my guy's still out there, so we're gonna
Oh,
pick
you're,
him.
oh yeah, you're gonna
I
roll with
put
Thursday.
faith in Flacco, and then I think he going back to Richardson over there. So
Yeah, yeah, it's tough. But Jameis is still out there, right? It's
yeah,
Jameis in the waiver streets. We might get to him, and you can talk about picking him up or something. Um, but yeah, Bo Nix, and then another guy I'll highlight, Chase Brown continues to give him 20 plus point games, man. I wish I didn't trade that guy away. Jesus. Yeah, it's like he's another. I feel like the last 3 or 4 weeks, Chase Brown's had 20 plus points in that spot. So another guy helping him out, and Glenn turning it around a little bit here. I think he's got 4 wins in his last like 6 games or something like that. So Glenn's doing pretty well. All right. There are no more ass whoopings, Kyle, but there were a couple like about to whoop that ass.
yeah,
I feel like,
right there.
oh, this one's a half point away. So, and you and I were apart on the losing end of those almost ass whoopings. So this one was you, Sam. Took it by just shy of 30 points, so not quite there, but pretty much. Anything any reason that you saw he beat you? Anything on your side that you're upset about?
No, I can't be upset. I mean, Joe Burrow's been doing good. What upsetting is Joe Burrow can do that well and their team is still losing like that.
Yeah.
Bengals defense is garbage.
And now one of their better players got has a broken clavicle and he's out for the season.
Wow. Yeah.
He was a cornerback. He like I saw the play happen too, where he is like makes a great play on the ball. He saved a touchdown because jumps up, dives, get a hands on it, hits it out, but lands on his shoulder like doing it and broke his clavicle. Just kind of crazy. But Burrow's actually scored. He's averaged 40 points in his last three games.
Yeah.
So I think he
It's
had like a 40 pointer, a 43 pointer, and a 37 pointer now. So yeah, he keeps putting up big points right now.
yeah.
Excuse me. That's definitely leading the way for Sam. On your end, I mean, the Texans played some good defense. Like they're a good D to have right now. But your running backs that you're like leaning on to really carry you,
They were
that's
doing good.
yeah.
Kenneth Walker, I mean, he's really young, but I mean, he started out on fire and
Yep.
he kind of fell off a little bit. I think it was after that bye week. He hasn't really done too much after his bye. I mean, I
No,
had
he's
to
not.
up to sub him in, and then he's not really taking back that role. He's doing. I mean, he's doing better than what I've got. But and then Henry. I mean, I don't know what Derrick Henry's doing. I don't know if they've changed their scheme or what, or if people are just tired of getting trucked by him. But I mean, I think he had lost that fumble he lost. I think they said it was his first and 370 some carries.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so he coughed that one up, and I really needed him to come through and get me another 30-point game. They've been kind of carrying me, and same with Justin Jefferson. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know what happened. Those two are my all-star. When I had said that, I had yeah, no, Derrick Henry was the number one running back, and Justin Jefferson was number one as well. And then having the tight end, he was number one, and I don't think he's really come
Oh,
back.
Kittle.
Yeah, he was number one. So I had a couple all-stars on my team for a while, but they seem to be resting
Kittle's
up for postseason, I believe. I'm not
yeah.
sure.
Yeah, Kittle was hurt, so that was like his first game he actually missed was this past week, I think. But yeah, Derrick Henry it's an interesting one because it seems like they are trying to like save him a bit, for their postseason run. And that'll be an interesting thing, as we think about fantasy football in general and as you're going through, those are things to think about. Um, of players that you have that are on maybe top teams that when it starts to get them closer to playoff time, if they have a lot of victories, they may not be playing these guys as much and trying to conserve them a little bit. So,
Mhm.
but Baltimore's not quite there. I mean, I don't even think Baltimore is leading that division anymore. I think Pittsburgh now is leading that division.
Yeah.
So why you wouldn't lean on a Derrick Henry but I didn't really watch it, so who knows? Who knows like where that ended up? But yeah, you still got a lot of good studs on your team. They just didn't seem to perform this week. So sorry about the loss, the
Oh,
L.
it's okay. I picked up Dawson Knox. I think I picked him up
Yeah, that was a good
very
play.
late. Very late. I picked him up and he did pretty good.
Yeah, I was gonna comment. I actually liked that play with Kincaid being out. I thought that was a good option to go to Dawson Knox and 6 points. I'll take that from a tight
Yep.
end. I mean, you'll take that. But we'll move on from the Jerry Jones hate club getting that loss to Suckadicka. And into my loss, the Denzel Winningtons took an L to the Cheesehead champions this week, who the Cheesehead champions, kudos, got the high score of the week. Nice job, EJ's team. Um, yeah, I felt confident in the game. I like scored well, and it's nice to have Goff get almost 50 points for me. That's basically why I was up there, but still, yeah, it was a little tough to reach that 157 point mark that I needed to hit.
Yeah, it's never fun losing when you almost score 130.
Yeah, but yeah, it is what it is, and that happens. But why do you think he whooped my ass so badly?
Detroit. I mean, I'm Ross St. Brown. I like to see Detroit go all the way. I mean, I think they're having fun with it. And everyone kind of questioned losing Hawkinson if they would, kind of fall off a little bit. but I
Yeah.
think they're doing just fine.
Yeah. They do look great. And those are the top scoring people on my team were Jared Goff and Jahmyr Gibbs, both play for
Mhm.
Detroit.
Yeah.
And top performer for his team, unfortunately, was the receiver that Goff kept throwing to. So yeah, but I like Amon Ra a lot. I like that. But one thing I'll highlight here, I don't know if I've seen this before or not, at least I can't recall, but he had five players hit 20 points or more. That's kind of tough to compete with there when you get five guys getting 20 plus.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, that's a difficult one to, like I said, compete with because I liked my team and what they did, but ultimately couldn't get there against EJ. He had a really nice game all around, and high score of the week will help you get that. But we move on. It's only three losses in a row for me. It's hurting a little bit. I gotta try to turn this around soon. At some point, I gotta win again to make my trades make sense. That would be helpful. All right, well, let's get to the last matchup of this past week, and that was our actual nail biter. I mean, Bob basically went into it already knowing the number he had to get to, and it seemed pretty close to impossible. And instead, it became very possible and almost done. I mean, he was down, as you could see, he would have been down, I think, 42 and a half points, we'll say, something like that. And man, Joe Mixon tried. He tried to get him there. And you said you saw more of that game, so I was falling asleep on the couch during that game. Obviously, it's what I do, but I didn't get to see the second half really very much. Um, there was some sort of touchdown run that Mixon had nearing the end of that game, or something.
Yep.
That,
They put it away. I think they made it.
is that what he
Yeah.
did? So he scored that to get him to 34, basically.
I don't know if it was the 34 or the 27 to 10. I can't remember exactly which one he put up there, but yeah, they were close at half, and then
Yep, it was bad. But Mixon is now, I believe, the number one running back in our league. Mixon has now taken that spot. But he had both his running backs scored 40. Like both of them.
Mhm. And I think Saquon, everyone was like, "Oh, he's going to get hurt." This I'm starting to think that the Giants were just his downfall. He's
Yep.
blending in so well with Philadelphia. I mean,
Well,
what
man, it's
what an
tough to
acquisition right there.
tough to not. They have such a great offensive line, and then now you have somebody like a Saquon behind that line. Oh my Lord. Like that's just too good to be true right there.
Yeah.
But Zach took it, man. I mean, he's the one who ended up taking it. Taysom Hill, 42 points at the tight end spot. Andy's favorite player, just really doing it. Here's what I'll say. He played four Buffalo players. Plays Josh Allen, Amari Cooper, Khalil Shakir, and James Cook. He gets a combined, let's see, 36 and a half. Okay, you're looking at 65-ish points, I guess I would say 65 to 70 points from those four guys. That's about what you kind of got to get every time, then I guess. I don't know, because that's a lot of Buffalo players to have on,
Yeah.
on a team. So, but Brees Hall came to life. I think he had his best game of the year, too. But Zach needed all of it in order to take it down. And it's tough for Bob. If I think it's tough to lose when I score 130, if I'm Bob and I've lost with scoring 151, and I want to say that's like Bob's second loss after scoring like such a high number. If I'm not mistaken, I'm looking this up, Kyle. Pardon me for taking a moment, but I'm
No,
pretty
you're all
sure.
right.
I'm pretty
That's
sure.
brutal.
Yeah, if I'm looking at schedule, we'll go to Bob. We'll go to beat the Swifties. No, he didn't have one like that. He lost when he scored 125 against Case's Aces and lost, but no, he didn't. I thought he may have had another one where he scored really high and then ended up losing, but I mean 125 and then losing's tough. That sucks, but Otherwise, he's been doing fine. He's only scored less than a. He scored 85 points 1 week. It was his loss to Andy. Andy only scored 88, but the rest of the time, man, I think Bob has scored no less than 110 points. That's all. Yeah, he's whooping up on people. But no, I was wrong on that. But either way, Zach, huge victory over Bob, keeping Bob in his place. So it beat the Swifties. Zach needed that. The laws of Alonomics needed that W, and he goes to 5-6 after that win. And that wraps up our week 11 games. So now we turn our attention to injuries. Before we do that, we definitely have a wonderful sponsor. I would love to get this fucking thing off the screen. I'll tell you that much. All right. But our sponsor this week is Licho's Hunting Excursions. You could get a good look at a ribeye by sticking your head up a bull's ass, but I'd rather take Louie's word for it. If you are interested in hunting for some wascally wabbits, make sure you go on to Licho's Hunting Excursions. He will not only show you how to hunt these wild beasts, he'll also show you how to clean them and process them so that way others can enjoy the wonderful ribeyes that you might get out of whatever meat that you hunt. But stop on by Licho's Hunting Excursions next time you are in Omaha area, and you'll be sure to have a good time. So thank you, Licho, for that. Now we move on to the injury report with Dr. Sam. He's got a really special injury report for us, by the way, this time, Kyle. A very special one. I'm going to exit out and then look at this. He is completely in the dark, unsure, unsure what's happening here, but I'm excited for it. All right, Dr. Sam, let's hear you out.
All right. Probably not going to be my best injury report because the internet was not kind with these injuries this week. But Ladd McConkey, Los Angeles Chargers wide receiver, potential AC sprain, left the game, did come back. Not necessarily a telling sign. Could have just been playing with adrenaline or gotten a shot or something like that. So have to check the reports to see. They might hold him out for a couple days, see how he does after that. Darnell Mooney, Atlanta wide receiver, has a hamstring injury, typically about a 2-week thing. He's on a bye week 12, so probably 50% chance to return week 13. Zamir White, running back, he has a quad injury. They really didn't say anything else about that, so I know that whole running back room is pretty banged up. Chenault Jr., wide receiver for the Seahawks, has an oblique injury. Obviously, he's not like a top target guy, but he's out with an oblique for now. Tajay Spears, running back for the Titans, I think. He's got a concussion, so could be typically out for like a week, depending on the severity of it and how he progresses through the protocol. Brock Purdy, quarterback for the 49ers. He's got a sore shoulder. I didn't really say much else about that. I'm sorry, but Shanahan says that he is day-to-day right now. I think I talked about this last week, but Gabe Davis, wide receiver for the Jags, is out for the year. He had surgery on his meniscus. And then Kittle, tight end for the 49ers, obviously missed the game on Sunday. It was a game-time decision. And they said that he has a potential to return to practice on Wednesday. So something else just to monitor from there.
All right, well, cool beans. Thank you, Dr. Sam. I'm glad it got lighter in there because for a while there, I'm like, are we just going to see Dr. Sam's head as he's doing this whole thing? Yeah, a few injuries that he was able to report on. I also know Alexander Madison, Raiders running back as well, is also injured. I believe had an ankle injury, maybe or something. So we might be talking about players to pick up from them randomly. But yeah, a few injuries that are going to be impactful for us moving forward. Plus, Lots of teams on bye this week, Kyle. Lots of teams on bye, and we might need to find out who we can pick up for that reason. So let's get it on, Kyle. I'm gonna get you switched over here. We got waiver wire QBs. We all know who you're going for. You're going for that Jameis piece. So why are you gonna go for Jameis Winston, Kyle?
I like him as a guy. I really do. He's a funny dude. If there's anyone I'd listen to in a like a pregame speech, it's going to be him every time.
He does have weird things to say. I
He
will
does.
say
He
that.
has the weirdest comparisons. The
Yeah.
things he says are just fantastic.
I think if you're not a person of faith, you will be after you hear him talk, probably.
Believe in something.
Yeah, exactly. I find it hard to believe that Tommy DeVito is the top guy to go after. I just find that hard to believe. I will say the matchups for some of these other guys at the bottom, yeah, not good. So that's mostly why. But I would take Drake May. I mean, he's on here every week, and I just think like at some point, but he's not going to be great, but he'll get you through the week, I think. But otherwise, Kyle suggests Jameis. I suggest Drake, and leave the other guys. Leave them there. Don't worry about them. If you got to play a guy, like Zach does, maybe you go for some of these other people. But Zach will probably get Drake May and then call it a day. All right. Not looking good. And the next spot that's not looking good, you know it. Running backs. We got to talk about them because they do exist. Anybody on here you're willing to add to your team?
Absolutely not.
He's like,
I don't
"Nope."
even look at the running back category anymore.
Yeah, I think again, get your backup. That's like the best thing you could do potentially if you want to do anything with it. The only person the reason why the bit list is so big at the very bottom is Amir Abdullah, and I only bring him up because if both Raiders monitor the Raiders running back room, but if both the Raiders running backs just are not going to play, then Amir Abdullah will get the play. So just a volume, like he'll just get a lot of work, and so therefore maybe he'll help somebody that needs a running
No,
back. But
unless he plays like he did at Nebraska, he's gonna probably stay on that waiver wire.
he has lasted in the league a lot longer than I thought he would.
I mean, he gets to a lot of rest time
Yeah,
too.
he gets a lot of rest time. Is that
Yeah.
yeah, that's true. What's up, Tage? Oh, Tage's coming in. You remember Kyle? Yeah. We sang
All
happy
right.
birthday. Last time Kyle was on, we sang happy birthday to somebody.
Yeah.
Who was it that we sang happy birthday
Glenn,
to? Glenn,
meow
that's right. I
meow.
was gonna say, I think it was Glenn. So that would have been nice. Yeah. You're gonna ask Kyle what he's up to. What are you up to?
Nothing. I'm up to nothing.
Nothing good,
Yeah.
right? What are you up to, Tage? I'm gonna do the the sports games. On the Wii, on the Switch? Yeah. Oh, you're gonna play some like tennis or something?
Mhm.
All right.
Nice.
How about bowling?
Yeah, I'm gonna do that too.
Yeah.
But soccer's not allowed.
No, soccer's not allowed.
No.
Well, we don't have the thing for soccer.
What thing?
You gotta like wear like an ankle thing or something for it. I don't know.
Um,
That's why we can't play that one. You should see if Mama played volleyball with you.
but I
Volleyball's a tough one.
Oh, I'll play volleyball with her anytime. I'm gonna play it right now.
Okay. All right, go have fun.
Bye, Kyle. Bye.
All right, love you, little one. The volleyball game actually is pretty fun and tough. Like you got to do a bunch of stuff.
Oh, I bet. Yeah, volleyball's not an easy sport.
No, like, and Allison's good at it. She beats me more. We haven't played in a long time, but when we were doing it, she was whooping me at it. But yeah, you gotta like bump it, you gotta like set it, you gotta like actually like spike it on there. I
Yep.
mean, you're moving, so it's actually pretty good. I like that for it. I haven't played this Wii Sport. I keep calling it Wii Sports because it's basically the same thing, but I haven't done that in a while with her. But anyways, we'll get out of this running back stuff here. I will throw out maybe Roshan Johnson. It seems like he's getting more play with the new Bears coordinator, and that guy likes to run the ball. So maybe Roshan Johnson can go on a team again. I don't know. Devin Singletary's at the top. I mean, again, like Tyrone Tracy is doing well, so maybe he'll be the one to do it. But if you got stash people, maybe. I don't know. I'm with Kyle though. Like, probably don't look at it. Well, now we got to move on to wide receivers. I'm sure there's some wide receivers out there that you like, Kyle.
Uh, I've been watching Bateman kind of throughout the season, but he hasn't really given me anything where he's, you know, worth picking up absolutely.
I know. It's like he's got a little bit.
Yeah.
He's got that every once and again he'll get you like a double digit week, but it seems like it's like every third or fourth week he'll get you a double digit week, and then you won't hear from him because he's a very boom bust player. You're talking about Jameis Winston. What do you think of Elijah Moore for Cleveland?
I'll have to look into him a little bit. I haven't been following him too much, but I mean, with that, another quarterback change going on. Darius Slayton, I don't know if he mixed very well with DeVito. That
Yeah,
could be something that could potentially be an upside, you know.
yeah.
But
I don't know enough about DeVito either to know like if he's got. I mean, I know he played last year, but I don't know that he like he won them games. I
yeah, and he
remember
thought the
that.
mafia was there with him. His uncle, whoever, it looked like the mafia was there with him in that game.
Yeah.
Remember that part?
Somewhere they're calling him like Tommy Cutlets or something like
Yeah,
that.
he through and through.
Tommy Veal Parmesan. The last part I put, as you notice, probably a lot when I have a player at the very bottom, it's usually because I want to talk about him. This Nick Westbrook Akine guy for the Titans don't have. I mean, he's their number two receiver, and he's had some big games too. Another guy to like look at it. Not, I'd almost put him in that Bateman category where it seems as though he has every few games like he's getting a big touchdown catches and stuff like that. And with DeAndre Hopkins being traded, he's now kind of stepped up to do more since that's happened. So basically, since Hopkins has been traded, because I think that was well, Nick Westbrook Akine has a touchdown in five of the last six games, and he has scored double digits in our league in three of the last four games. So that's why I kind of bring him up on here. Is it seems like ever since Hopkins left, he's now getting. I think that would have been three games ago. So since he's left, yeah, I think it would have been in week 8. He's gotten like double digits three of those four games since he has left. So that might be a guy who's on the up and up. Little Nick Westbrook Akine. You never know. Unfortunately, he has Will Levis throwing him the ball, but sometimes it works out okay. All right. Lastly, let's hit them tight ends, man. Any of these tight ends that you think will do anything? Big breath.
Is Isaiah Likely? Is he not starting for Baltimore?
You know, now they have Andrews,
Oh, right.
going to,
Okay. Andrews is back. That's okay.
yeah, that's the tough part. But I think they both get play,
Hmm.
so likely could be a player. Theo Johnson's actually looked good, but now with the quarterback change, I don't know. But he's actually
Yeah.
not been bad as of late either. He's gotten so yeah. Theo Johnson the last three games is averaging over 5 targets a game, averaging 3+ catches a game. Not a whole lot. He's only got a touchdown on one of those, but I mean, serviceable guy. Gotten 5 points, and then 12 and a half, and then six. So could be a guy out there. Again, you're just trying to fill it in. You got Dawson Knox off of the waivers. He got you 6 points. So you never know. Just take a stab at somebody, but nothing great. There's not a lot here this week in waiver wire land. It's really tough. All right, we'll move on, Kyle, because it's just not good stuff. But we did have a couple trades happen this week, and a couple trades, but only between three different actual teams, because one team was involved in both of them. So we'll see. The laws of Allonomics, they traded Nick Chubb to not great and pretty injured for Malik Neighbors. Therefore, she Neighbors has been thrown off the team and now has Tommy Cutlets throwing him the ball. Nick Chubb has Jameis Winston handing him the ball. Uh, any view of which side won the trade, or maybe both sides get good pieces? What do you think about this one?
I think that's a pretty fair trade-off. I mean, I think Neighbors is more valuable, but as for the QB situation, I think it's the complete opposite.
Yeah, and for Allison, I know that she needed a running back. He needed receiving depth. So I think it was a good trade for both. I like this kind of trade. I think it works out really well. So good on both ends, and who knows if Neighbors will be better with the new quarterback or not. To me, it just seems like they don't have a quarterback right now. And so that's kind of the tough part for Neighbors to become what he needs to become. Because in the beginning of the season, man, he didn't look like the second coming of Jamar Chase, man. He was looking great.
Mhm.
But ever since he got injured and they've come back, he just hasn't seemed the same, but still really good talented player. So we'll see how that goes. Well, she made another trade just now today. So not great and Purdy injured, traded Isaiah Pacheco, who is on IR. Wasn't getting, she needs to get wins now. So she needed a trade. So she traded Pacheco for Brian Robinson Jr. and Josh Downs. Any thoughts on this trade, one way or the other?
Hard to judge it. I mean, I am so against having any Chiefs player on my team because week to week, I don't know if they're ever even going to get the ball. I mean, I don't think they don't keep the same players in there even for a full drive. I mean, Andy Reid
Yeah.
is so good at subbing people out and keeping people on their toes. I don't, I haven't really followed Pacheco at all this season either.
Well, he's been injured pretty much the entire season. So he started out hot, got injured with a broken leg, basically. He'll be coming off IR, I think, this week or next week, something like that. So he should be back for the fantasy football playoffs. So it seems like Bob's trying to get in and get a solid running back on a team that wins games. But the tough part is Kansas City isn't blowing people out of the water. So like I'd love to call them a good offense, and I think they are an okay offense. Like they're not as good as they used to be, but maybe part of that's because they don't have Pacheco. And so when Pacheco comes back, maybe that'll be there. We'll see. I don't know. I don't know if they do. I don't know how Pacheco's going to look. I mean, he's coming off a broken leg. You're a running back. Like I just don't know how well that goes. Like I'll be honest, I would have probably kept Brian Robinson Jr. and continued to play him. I mean, he's also been injured though. So he's been injured and coming off an injury. So that's a tough one. I think it's a good I definitely like the trade for Allison's side because it gives her two players that are playing right now versus a player that she can't, and she has to keep winning in order to have any sort of possible chance to make the playoffs, which she's running on slim chances anyways, which we'll see. But overall, I think good trades on all sides. It makes sense for all sides. Zach and Allison, and then Bob and Allison. So nice job and way to make some moves, people. I like seeing these moves coming out. As
After
I
you said the deadline was coming up,
exactly, and I was getting ready to make another
throw it
mention of
out
that.
there and parts start moving. Yeah.
Yeah, we got basically one more week. You got about a week left. I think it was the 27th.
I
So today is the what 19th? Is that today?
believe so.
So
Yep.
so so yeah, so you got basically a little bit over a week. So right before Thanksgiving games happen, trades have to be in by that point. So yeah, so good to see some movement in that meantime. All right, comment of the week. Um, I put Glenn's sharing of the bowling ball thing where if all the sports used a bowling ball instead of like their regular ball. I don't know if you watched that one or not, but Kyle, you got to get more involved in what we're posting on there. Okay. So you don't have a comment of the week, is what that tells me. You
Nope.
don't, you don't even know what was said. too much partying with people. You know, you got a bachelor pad there, and you were too involved in it this past
Yeah,
weekend.
I'm not doing any of that, but yeah.
Don't worry, Licho. He's not doing any of that, which doesn't matter. Your dad's not there.
He'll be down next week.
Oh yeah?
Yep, for the holiday. Be coming down to see what we're gonna go tear up some small towns or something. Who knows?
Really? So
Yep.
is that what you all normally do for tea gives?
Yep. Either I go there or they come here and kind of vice versa for Christmas. So traveling, a lot of traveling going on.
Yeah, no kidding. That's a drive. But good for them for coming down to see you for that time frame. Nice.
Yeah, they don't leave me out to dry.
No, that's good. They don't like a turkey, right? They don't leave you out to
Yeah.
dry. Um, so what do you? So when they come down there, I mean, are you cooking a meal? What are you doing?
I haven't really thought about it yet. I'm not sure. But and I mean now's about the time to go get a turkey, I'm thinking. So
Well, you got to do something. You got to figure it out if you're going to cook and, be the person to provide Thanksgiving meal. Are they going to help you provide Thanksgiving meal? Or are you going to go just somewhere else and get food for Thanksgiving? You got
yeah,
to
we'll
make
go to IHOP or something, get some breakfast.
There you go. There you go. Right on, man. I know we do have that time frame coming. We always go to my in-laws, so Allison's parents. They do a good job hosting Thanksgiving. So we'll have a few of the FFFL members there because Suckadicka will be there. Not good and Purdy injured will be there, and then Denzo Whittington will be there. Meow Meow is normally there, but now Meow Meow lives in North Carolina, so not going to be there for that one. But we'll at least have some of the FFFL and there cheering on those Thanksgiving Day games because that's all I really care about is Thanksgiving football. So
Right on.
that and some good food. I just want to get some food, take a nap, those kinds of things. That's what it's about. All right. Let's move into where we sit after week 11 so then we can talk about the upcoming matchups. Here's where we are. So the Licho Logis got another victory this week and solidified their spot in the playoffs, and so did Suckadicka. Suckadicka also solidified their spot, but I think he was solidified last week with having that eighth win. That kind of almost guarantees somebody to be in the playoffs at that point. Then we got a few of us that are kind of all huddled around together, anywhere from 4-7 to 7-4. It's gonna be a tough one. Murphy's Law, 3-8, 6% chance. Has still got a chance, and not great and pretty injured. Got on her victory this week, so she kept her chances going, and she still has potential to be in the playoffs. But so nobody's fully out quite yet. But as you can see, those that are at 6-5 or plus, they're given a 99% chance to be there. Jerry Jones Hate Club, you got to have something to say about stuff, because you're at that 4-7 mark. You're feeling like you got to win out in order to make it.
I do. I need to start winning games. So
Yeah, and I don't. I could see it being. I could see a 6-8 team making it in at some point. That would make sense. You do have at least three teams that will can't finish worse than 500, but then you got 3, 4, and 7 teams, a 5-6 team, and a 6-5 team. So you have a few others so then you got three teams that the best y'all can do is get to 500, and that's where this becomes very interesting to start to think about that. So like you said, you feel like you got to win out because it feels like 6-8 would be very risky. That'd be a tough one to go in at 6-8 and feeling confident that you still get in the playoff with that record. However, with that being said, you actually have of the 4-7 teams have the most points, and you're currently in that eighth spot. So you are currently in the if it were all in today, you would be in the number 8 seed. Okay, so that tells me that you are right there. You got it. But a bunch of jagoffs are right behind you, and Meow Meow is just chasing them too. So you got to be careful there with that. Bob still kicking everyone's ass. He is now almost 170. I think he's like 170 some points ahead of everybody else in total points. So he's
Huh.
still whooping ass and taking names. And Licho Logis is still leading the league in moves made at 35. But I'm coming for you. I'm at 24, so I am coming for you. Jerry Jones Hate Club. I noticed that you climbed a little bit in the moves made. You know, you
Mhm.
had a few moves to make. You were sitting idle there for a while with moves being made.
It was working. Didn't need to. I've been trying so hard to just leave them alone this season, and they're making it awfully tough. So
Do you
injuries
find that
happen.
do you try to do that in most fantasy leagues that you're in? Do you try to minimize your moves?
Absolutely not. I mean, you remember first season, I was sending ridiculous trade offers just to see if I could capitalize on anything I could. And then after none of those worked, I was like, yeah, we'll just ride this out and see what happened. And through injuries and whatnot, I've realized the moves that I've made were either needed to be made or just did not sit right with me having, that person and seeing them out there on the waiver and got to make it happen. But
Yeah. Well, I we have a few streaks going. Unfortunately, I mean, and Tyler and I are about to actually face each other this week, but we're both on major skids. I've lost three in a row. He's lost four in a row. We're about to face each other, so at least one of those skids will stop this week. But yeah, the two gentlemen at the top, they've won three in a row. So you have both Louie and Sam who are on 3 game winning streaks, and they face each other this week. So
good,
that's actually very
good.
interesting that the four teams that are on some kind of more major streaks. I don't consider 2 games to be a major streak, right? But people with three or more going in the whichever direction that is are actually facing off this week. So those streaks will come to an end this week, and let's see what else might come to an end this week. So not great and Purdy injured. They go up against Beat the Swifties. Beat the Swifties is the highest scoring team in our league, and it just feels like she's going to need a 150-point week in order to take this down. What
And
say?
uphill battle, and it's snowing and raining and muddy and everything this week.
But we thought that last week. We thought, maybe the bunch of Jagoffs would put the nail in the coffin for her, and they did not. Instead, she laid an ass whooping down. So, and
For
hey,
you.
her and Bob just made a trade. Bob just traded away some players. Maybe, that means I probably don't have this updated. She probably has some of those players going against him, which is interesting. So wouldn't that be something if she could take him down with the players that he traded her? That'd be interesting.
Mhm.
So I'm sure this looks a lot different. I bet it actually does. So I apologize, not great and pretty injured manager, that I did not get this updated with your current score. Let's see. I'll update you all with this though. So I'm gonna make an assumption here. If I recall, she was getting away from Jacoby Myers, and she was gonna put Josh Downs in for Jacoby Myers. What do you like? What do you think about that move? So let me see if I can get to her. And yes, she did. So Jacoby Myers was facing the Denver Broncos defense. Josh Downs facing the Detroit defense. Do you have a thought either way? Would you go Jacoby Myers against Denver, who he might be facing Patrick Surtain, or would you play Josh Downs against Detroit?
Well, I mean, then you're gonna be double dipping a little bit with playing the Lions defense.
Yeah, it's true. That's true. And she had that same worry. So she was worried about that. But she did add Brian Robinson Jr. instead of Ricky Pearsall. So Ricky Pearsall is in her flex currently right now in this image. She has Brian Robinson Jr. in there. With the updates that she has made, she is now projected to get 108 and a half points. So this helped her by 13 and a half points this week, this trade. So that's pretty good. So that's pretty good at that point. So she's not doing too bad, but Bob's a tough team to beat, man. Just too tough to beat. And I guess Joe Mixon isn't but he has the number two running back in our league and number four running back in our league. So that's going to be always difficult to win in those matchups. All right, next up, Meow Meow at 4-7, going up against the Indianapolis Cases Aces, and it is time to pounce for Meow Meow. He needs it for his playoff run, but also Jamar Chase and Garrett Wilson, two of the top five wide receivers in our league, are both out this week. They are going to be on bye. So that's why I think this is time to pounce for Meow Meow. Do you think who do you think takes this one down? And do you feel like Casey has the players to maybe replace those guys?
I haven't really looked. I don't know what's on his bench, and replacing Jamar Chase, that's going to be a rough one.
Yeah.
All jokes aside, yeah, that's going to be you're going to need a good starter for that. I mean, getting those points back is not going to be easy, but no, it's
No,
looking. mm, yeah, if it's hard to judge it with two people out. So
I know it is tough to judge, but what I'll say is he'll probably end up having to play like a Jalen Warren, maybe. He might even throw a Sam Laporta in there if he has to, because I don't like his other matchups either. I mean, he's got Demario Douglas for New England. You could maybe throw him in there, but there's few options, but can't say he has great ones. Sorry, I'm yawning here.
all
What a
right.
boring matchup. But in all honesty, Meow Meow is a good time to strike and to pounce onto the Indianapolis Cases Aces. And Meow Meow needs it as he needs to keep uh, getting these victories in order to make it to the playoffs and find that magic that he's been searching for while he's been in the league. All right. Next up, is it going to be your revenge, Kyle? Are you going to take out some revenge on your uncle-in-law? Basically, he beat you last time,
Yeah.
um, but I don't know. You're missing a couple spots here. I don't know if you filled them yet or not. I know that you're looking to get a new QB in there.
Yep. So hopefully, I mean, for me anyway, I get that Jameis, which hopefully he at least pulls out a solid week, or I'll have to do something. And then hopefully Kittle comes back.
Yeah, Kittle coming back. I mean, it sounds like he will. I think he's already been practicing with the team again, so it seems like he might be able to come back for you. Always nice to get the number one tight end back.
Now, I don't know who they play, but Kittle's going to have a tough time
Uh,
mirroring what
yeah,
Kelsey
they're
can do.
playing the Packers, so and I think they're at Green Bay.
That might not work in my favor. Kelsey might rack him up a little bit against Carolina, so I hope Kittle can do the same. But
Yeah, it's true. His matchups are pretty good. I mean, I shouldn't say that. I really shouldn't say that. I mean, Carolina is obviously a good matchup, but that could even turn into where they don't even have to use Kelsey. They just run the ball or do some other stuff.
well, and
Pitts,
then again, the New York Giants, you can almost do whatever you want against them. So he might passing or throwing. It looks like he might capitalize on that matchup. So
yeah, it'll be this will be an interesting one. Depending on who you have to throw out there at quarterback, that'll make a big difference. I do like I'll say the opposite. I'm not a huge fan of some of your matchups, even like Derrick Henry against the Chargers. That's a good defense. I mean, he's the number one running back in our league, but good defense. Walker against Arizona. Arizona's been playing better. Justin Jefferson against Chicago, another team that can be tough to throw against, but they've had a few injuries going on. They're not the same defense right now, it seems. So that one could actually be okay. Tank Dell just doesn't look right, and Devonta hasn't had a good game in a little bit. So tough sledding for you right now. Also, so I think this will be a really close matchup here, and one that I'm really interested in because you're both at 4-7. You both need it, so you both need this to feel confident about continuing that playoff hunt. Because once you get to that eighth loss, then you're in like you legit have to win out, and you have to hopefully win out by scoring a whole lot of points
Yep.
during that time. So it can be tough. So you both need this victory. Good luck, and hopefully you can get your revenge on Andy this week. All right, then we have a tussle at the top. The number one seeds in both leagues, or both divisions, I should say, are going up against each other. And you have the number one quarterback who's in action against the Chargers, a tough defense. And he does not have the number two quarterback because Burrow is out on bye, and so is Kamara, who's had a heck of a year. So this could be a tough one for Sukkaditka. I'm trying to see if what he has James Conner to throw in, who's got a 20.5 point projection. So replacing Kamara pretty much evens out Kamara and what he could do. But in regards to quarterback, he does not have one. And so therefore he will have to find one on the waiver wire. This might be where you got to hope you can get ahead of him the waiver wire. I don't know if he's going for Jameis or not on Sam's side. But even if he gets those players, so we'll add 20.5 points to that 67. That puts him at basically 80. He'll have 88. So we'll say 88 projected. He gets a quarterback thrown in there. He's probably just over 100 in his projection for Sam, whereas Louis has 124. You see it going Louis' way no matter what kind of Sam does with his pickups. Oh, Kyle, are you there? Did you hear me?
Yep. Yep. I'm
Sorry.
here.
Sorry. Do you see even with Sam picking up some players, he'll probably be about 20 points shy of Louis' projection. Do you think it could still go Sam's way, or is Louis going to take this victory?
It's looking like it now, but you never know. I mean, you can play the Cowboys defense, you might lose a couple points. So
I'm hoping he's going to change that because, as you can see, the Cowboys defense, Licho, they're 30th out of 32 teams. So I think there might be at least a few other teams out there that you could play instead.
yeah.
So that's true. He could even play a different defense against the Jaden Daniels led Commanders. That might be a better option for him. But yeah, this will be a tough week for Sam because he's got to replace those guys that have really helped carry his team, and Louis looking like he's got some good matchups there. So we'll see how it goes. I see it leaning Louis' way, which means that Sam is going to take the victory. So we'll see how that goes. But either way, they're both in the playoffs. Who cares? This week, I want revenge. So the Denzel Whittingtons, we want revenge against Murphy's Law because they took us last time when we face off against each other. So I'm looking to get some revenge here. I will say this is my playoff lineup. So if I'm looking at it as we're going to the playoffs, this is my team. This is what I've tried to create here, and I'm crossing fingers and hoping that they all stay healthy and can get me to the playoffs because 7-4, while it feels good to be there, I also know that I need another victory to make sure that I'm there. So we'll hope that happens this week. He has to replace Devontae Adams in his flex spot. Um, do you think he has enough to take me out for the second time?
It's hard to judge. I mean, you got if McCaffrey can have another good game, that he might actually just get himself 22 points, and that would be pretty good. I don't know if his flex can compare to that. So you might have him beat there, but it's going to be a tough one. That one's up in the air. I think you might have the advantage here, though.
Yeah, I don't like his running back matchups because Detroit's a really good run defense, and so is Minnesota. So both running backs that he's got going out there are going up against tough matchups. So on that front, like it's just going to be tough sledding for him for those two guys specifically. However, outside of that, I mean, it's not bad. I don't know where to go with CJ Stroud in fantasy football. He's just not a great asset to have. He's kind of a middle of the road guy. In real football, he's a great quarterback. I like him a lot, but in fantasy football, he's just not as good. It's kind of like Patrick Mahomes. Mahomes great quarterback, but in fantasy football, especially the last couple of years, he's just kind of been, pedestrian and, yeah, he'll win you some weeks, but otherwise he has some really tough weeks as well. So we'll see how CJ Stroud does. But I feel confident this week to take out my revenge on Murphy's Law. You can't beat me twice, okay? Okay, Tyler, please don't. Okay. All right. Next matchup is the Laws of Allenomics going up against the Chiefs head champions. And yes, this is a real projection for him, which is why we put the title up here that we do, which is bye, 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 bye. He's got so many buys. You got to fill out your roster, though, man. You cannot just simply leave bye weeks out there on as a starting lineup. While yes, those things happen, that's part of the game, and you got to figure it out. So, got to play a full team. What do you say, Kyle, to that? Do you have to play a full team, or can you put somebody on bye in your starting lineup?
Yeah, even if that means you have to give Josh Allen away, I'll give you someone for him.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And the tough part for him is like the guys that are on bye, obviously Allen, Cook, Brees Hall, Taysom Hill are all top 10 in their positions.
Yeah.
So those are tough ones to fill at that point. Um, and with EJ, he's got a good, solid team. Like he just has like a solid team. Obviously, he won High Point of the Week this past week. But he's got some tough matchups he's going into. I never like anybody going up against Denver. Baltimore can be a tough defense. Even San Fran can, but he's got a solid team all around. So he's always a tough one to beat on any given week. So we'll see what we. I don't think there's much to say about it because we don't know what Zach's going to do or what his team looks like. So we'll kind of leave that be. But EJ probably walks away with it because even whatever Zach can do, it's going to be waiver wire fill-ins that are probably not going to do so well. I'd like to see what else he has on his bench though for him. I mean, he's played everybody he basically can except for Wandale. Oh no, he can't even play Wandale. So the only players that he has that are not on bye, they're all wide receivers.
Mm.
So he legitimately has. I mean, all he just has four wide receivers that aren't on bye. Everyone else is on bye. Yeah, man. I think he's gonna have to drop like. I think you'll be okay dropping like a Mike Gesicki. I think you'll be okay doing that. Ray Davis probably has to come off. I mean, shoot, he probably has to drop another tight end. There's a lot to do here, man. You got a lot to do. Jets defense, you're gonna have to drop, but they haven't been good anyways. Like the Jets
Yeah.
defense, they haven't been playing well, so you might want to just want to drop them anyways. Brees Hall, I'm with you, man. I'll trade you something for Brees Hall, right? Like, if you need a player this week, I can probably,
Put
swing
something
that.
together.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Maybe who do I got? Who do I got? Kyron Williams. Maybe Kyron Williams for Brees Hall and something else, I don't know. We'll see. Anyways, gonna be a tough one for you. Good luck, Zach, to try to get that all done, and have surgery. So, it's just shitty all around for that guy. Just shitty all around. But that wraps up this week's recap. I appreciate you doing this with me.
Yeah,
Your
of
dad
course.
didn't come on. I don't know what that's all about, but
Yeah, I don't know. He told me, I think he broke the computer at the house, so he might be in trouble.
oh, he probably broke
Lost
his
computer
last.
privileges.
He's grounded. He's
Yeah.
grounded. Did they ever do that to you? Did they ever ground you and you couldn't go on the computer or something?
Greg, I got grounded so many times they ran out of things to ground me from. They shaved my head.
They shaved your head?
When I used to go hunting with them, I'd show up and one of the guys we used to hunt with, little Ralph, he could tell how much I was behaving by how long my hair was.
Really?
Mhm.
You
I've been
gotta
everywhere, Greg. Yeah,
you gotta explain this. So okay, okay. So have you always like worn long hair? Have you always like basically worn long hair?
I mean, I've always just kind of let it grow out to hell. It's probably a little longer now than it usually, but I hate paying for haircuts. It's something you got to do, and then a month or two later, you got to go do it again. So
I don't know what you're talking about. So
yeah. But no, I just tend to let it grow out and stuff. But yeah,
well, but I'm saying like that as a punishment. I haven't really. I mean, I haven't really heard of that too much. And so, give a scenario. Like, how would this? How
you can
does
only you can only get grounded so many times. You can only get in
right?
trouble. And some people just don't learn. When you get in trouble and then you get in trouble again for something different, or you go back to the same hole again and you get in trouble again. You're gonna learn eventually. Parents are very creative. Very
I
creative.
see that.
Yeah.
So how would they get you to actually get like cut your hair? Is it just do you just submit eventually and
Yeah, what am I gonna do? And then after
so
that, after that, I get told look better that way anyway.
so I truly I gotta understand this a little bit. So you would get in trouble, and I'm guessing this is later in your life when they were cutting your hair,
Oh, probably.
like middle
Oh,
school, high school.
yeah, middle school. Oh no, it was over with by high school. Yeah, this was a probably middle school thing. I'm thinking before that even too.
Okay,
Yeah, it was
and they figured out that you loved your hair a lot.
yeah.
Was so as part of like so part of it for them was more they just wanted you to cut your hair anyways if
More
you
of a yeah, I mean a last ditch effort kind of thing, and you didn't like your hair being that way, you ain't gonna have it that way no more. So
now who was it Colleen or was it Louis that were which one was the worst?
oh, neither of them were the worst, but they both had their ways. It was a dynamic duo.
Yeah.
You can only blame so much stuff on the cat, and then you're caught. So
Yeah. Oh, it was yeah, the cat took your car out for a joyride. I don't
yeah,
understand.
the cat did that.
Meow meow would not appreciate that that you're blaming the cats for all of your woes at that point. Oh my gosh, that's funny. I would not have thought of that, but maybe I'll have to do that for Tage if she ever gets out of line like too much that all right, girl, I guess I'm gonna cut your hair. You're gonna be a little Sinead O'Connor. Uh and we'll see how you like that. No, she's a good kid, so she'll never get in trouble. I'm sure of it.
That's good. Yeah.
I know she's got two opposite ends of the spectrum, I think. Like Allison, didn't get in trouble hardly at all. Was very good to her parents, whereas I was the opposite. And I kind of, I mean, I'd gone to juvie at one point. I got taken out of my middle school in handcuffs, by the way, like by police. Like I literally was like taken out squad car, taken to juvie, man. Like it was, yeah. So I turned it around after that for the most part. Um, yeah, that was a decent wake up call there. Like fingerprinted everything, man. Like it was legit. I was like, okay. The only thing I didn't agree with was like I got pushed up against a locker by the principal, and I was like, okay,
You're not allowed to do
I don't think
that.
so. I don't think that's they are allowed to do that. But yeah, because I was like questioning him as to why I was in such trouble, and then he like pushed me against the locker, like you know what you did. I was like, all right, man. I didn't even beat up a kid. Like the kid fell and like hit his head, and then
Yeah.
he went to the hospital, but it was not because of what I had done to him. And so I was like, that's not cool. Well, apparently when he fell, he like hit his head like on the table or something, and he fell, and then he had a big welt on his head. Gets taken out in an ambulance and all that stuff. But that was not me. All right, like that did not like I. That's where I was like, okay, like I did shove the kid, but that was all I did. And then I get
You didn't assist him going to the ground now, did you? That was all on him.
Well, my point to it is like it's not like I got in this huge fight and we're like punching each other and making a bloody mess. Like, no, man, it was like kid started hitting me with this book and I just shoved him and then I left and apparently he was wailing on the ground. And I'm not like exaggerating and trying to downplay my part. Like that's what happened and then I get in trouble. But it is what it is, Kyle. And
Yeah, these
I'm here
things
to
just kind of happen. Sometimes it just kind of follows you too. You can't help yourself.
right. So yeah, so we'll see because yeah, we'll see which we'll see which way Tage leans, and I'm hoping so badly she leans Allison's way, and we can have a pretty decent high school, middle school to high school age time frame for that because
Hey, you'll
too
be all right. Yeah.
yeah, too much will happen. I know I've already lost all my hair. I can't really lose much more of it, but again, Kyle, thank you for hopping on, man. Appreciate it. Always good seeing you. I wish you luck making sure you get to the playoffs because you got a good team. I mean, you're one of the teams that I said in the beginning that I really liked, especially
I
your
think the
starting
draft
squad.
day had me at 2.
I know. I know. Even
Hell.
even Glenn said it had him at 1. And
Yeah,
Glenn's
I
like, what
did it. I
happened to
did it
that?
right. I didn't pick a quarterback first round. I played by the rules. I did everything I was supposed to do. I'm fighting to hang on now. So
Yep. Yep. Exactly, man. I mean, it is what it is. It's how fantasy football works, which is why we
yeah.
also love it, but we stress over it too much, I think. Too much.
Sometimes you just have to take a weekend off from watching football.
Yeah, I should do that sometime. I should do that. But yeah, take care, everybody in the FFFL. Be good to each other this week. Zach, all the best to you, man. Good luck on your surgery. We hope you come out much better and you rest and recover and get back to your normal self. And are glad that you did the surgery after that too, because that can always be a tough call and what you want to do. But we wish you all the best. And good luck to you and good luck to everybody except for Tyler. I hope you lose, Tyler. I really do.
Yeah, and trade me Josh Allen.
Yeah, Zach, there are people here to help you make sure that you don't have any bye weak players in your starting lineup. And we're
Well,
such
here.
good people willing to help. Okay?
When you wake up tomorrow and you're still feeling a little drowsy, just go ahead and accept that trade.
Yeah.
You
Keep popping the pills
got.
and feeling better about it. So love it. All right. Well, thanks again, Kyle. All the
Of
best
course.
to you, my man. Good
Thanks for
seeing
having
you.
me.
Yep. All right.
All right. See ya.
Deuces.